Back, and like I said, got the visual, and I'm actually in Sonia's chair right now. I'm not even in my own chair.
You got chairs? I didn't know we had sunset.
I mean, this is where you.
Yeah, that's always. Yeah, that's always.
But I was sitting here earlier, so just coming back. Welcome back to the Sonia show.
Yeah.
Just coming back. Had to go get something to eat. Both of us are
we're not on.
Yes, we are.
Oh, we are. Oh, yeah, we are. You is. Yeah, we is.
Both of us are extremely tired. We need to get something to eat. We got a food on the table. Probably gonna stay here for a little bit to eat. Might even go to sleep.
I'm going to sleep really first, so it's not that bad for me.
People was tired. Don't mean on the air. And my voice getting messed up, but welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Before, if you was looking, something had happened with the cameras. Couldn't figure it out. We were just trying to get in the show. So now you can see me over here. Y'all can see that over there. But
which one are they on?
This is the program.
Okay.
This is the preview.
Okay.
And so which one I just hit the
Yeah, we over there. Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
So what's up? We don't need to see that right now.
No, we don't need to see that. What do we need to see that for?
So, Sonia wanted to talk. What did you say you wanted to talk about? I just got the ram, man. I forgot.
Yeah, we need to talk about
Cuomo.
Yeah, Mayor Cuomo, or former New York Mayor Cuomo, and his sexual harassment charges.
There's a lot of stuff that's going on with these people.
It's a lot of stuff. It's interesting. You know, I was like, man, I like him.
You like him?
Yeah, I'm like, I like him. Well, when I kept little bit, I was watching him play out.
I can smell fraud.
I know. Yeah, you did. You ordered them. You sure did. And they smell me. That's some bad fries. But
anyway, and I'm on that type of
it's okay.
These not the fast food fries I like. I like that.
You go to Poppy store.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go to the Poppy store.
I'm going back to the Poppy store.
Went to the Poppy store where they had the little bottle of mayonnaise for $3.99. It do? Yeah, it took them 2 days to cut the thing. I'm like, oh, can you move this a little bit faster?
So, Homer.
Yeah. Who has now resigned, facing some, he was like, you know what, I did not, you know what's sad is that if he never, now, don't get me wrong, I do believe that if you get more than a fair share of a report, something happened. I do believe that. You know, and if you get Como, just in general. But I think what happens is history repeats itself, and you have a lot of people that just want to jump on the bandwagon. You know, you didn't even think about sexual harassment. Now all of a sudden, oh, he winked at me. No, honey, he had something in his freaking eye. You knew at the time because he said something, but you know, now all of a sudden, oh, you remembered. Oh, he winked at you, and it became offensive. You know,
even worse.
Yeah, but you know, it's just everybody. It's not a black or white. It's not a color thing. It's just amazing how some will see money and just run right. Yeah, I'm going to jump on you. You know, even though I know it was a lie.
This is what our society is built on, chasing money. Like,
it's sad.
Well, not our society. Let me clear that up because I don't want anybody to be thinking I'm assimilated into this culture. I'm more. It's not my culture, and I stand on that. But as far as how this society is set up, it's all about the bag.
Yeah, that's
all everybody chase. So when you see things like this happening in the mainstream media, you know what I mean? Usually, that the people who are getting jammed up like that, usually they got out of line, and they being fed to the wolves. You know what I mean? Because you gotta think about this. The whole time he was being accused of these sexual harassment allegations and things of that nature, nothing was happening. And then after the pressure was put on when it was in the news, you know what I mean, and things started to pop up all over social media, he decided to resign. So that lets you know what I mean, he was walking around with that stuff in his jacket. He already knew he was doing what he was doing and he wasn't supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
So
I like how you say that.
And for real, He already knew that. He knew he was wrong. So that's how most of these people are. They live in a bubble where they're untouchable.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as long as they're playing the game, as long as they're, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing for the powers that be, so to speak, then they're gonna do whatever they want. You notice these Hollywood celebrities and these athletes, entertainers, and these politicians and stuff like that, they can get in trouble. It'll be a hot topic for 3 days and then it disappears.
Yeah,
because the people that they work for control the media.
We forgot all of it.
Pumping everything else, and you'll forget all about it, and then everything is good. But when it gets to the people where it's uncontrollable, where the media can't really shut it down, they gotta make an example out of it. So, he was allowed to step out of line for so long, and he didn't step out of line no more because the people was calling on it. He's not the only one. It's about to go down for a lot of nasty shit stuff. A lot of people. And if you notice, it's a lot of prominent people around the world that is either being suicided or killing themselves. Look at the presidents of Haiti and all those things that's been going on the last month. Well, I didn't say last few weeks, within the last month, you had like 5 presidents there was an attempted assassination on, like heads of state, or there was an assassination.
Let me just set the record straight.
So,
I am allergic to hell. I am allergic to killing myself. So I've already established I don't take. Look, if the prescription doesn't say take it to the end, I am not taking it. I barely take a freaking Tylenol. So if somebody come back later talking about something, oh, she done OD, that's a lie. I ain't got no track marks because I'm allergic. Look, I don't go to the doctor and have whine, bitch, and complain when they go to take my blood just for prick my finger. So no. So all that she OD, she drunk, that's a lie. If you found out I was hung somewhere, I didn't do it. Just know I didn't do it. I didn't write that letter, that suicide note. I didn't do it. That was not me.
Are you expecting something?
Look.
We were talking high power stuff.
Yeah, we talking about high power stuff.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm not gonna kill myself, but I'm not scared to die. I mean, you gonna come kill me, we're gonna be trying to kill some of these other people.
Yeah, we're gonna kill because I'm gonna protect my life.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day.
Are you eating? How are the fries? Are they good?
They're horrible, actually.
I tried to get a chef on
here. The only reason I'm not eating the fries right now is because I can't eat myself. Like, I look like a pig on the air.
Oh.
Can you have my juice?
Don't worry about it.
And one of those Twinkies.
Wait a minute,
I'm really hungry.
Wait a minute, so you got chips and fries?
I got
and what's up?
I got Twinkies. I got French fries. I got Italian sub, and I got a Gatorade.
And a Gatorade.
I didn't eat all day. Like, did I eat this morning? No, I ate all night. I told you I was up to 5 o'clock.
I had some cookies. And I had bottled water. I didn't eat because I feel the cold. Like, yeah, I feel it, and I didn't take anything. So I mean,
some oil of oregano and some ginger.
You know what? For the past couple of days, I've had. Now what I do is I get me fresh ginger. I put it in the pot, the kettle, with my tea bags. Pour the water all in there. Boil it all, everything, and then pour some in my cup, and I leave that pot and I let it sit. I let my ginger and my tea bags sit there. I try to drink 3, but 2 is all I can muster because after a while it's like, oh, okay, your body is like, you just stuffed yourself. But as long as I get that ginger in, and I do the ginger, the honey, and the lemon, and I'm good.
Oil of oregano.
Put some oregano?
No, not oregano. Oil of oregano.
Oh, oil of oregano.
Remember that.
All
right.
I'm
gonna take that in combination with your with the ginger.
Okay, with my ginger. And you know what? When I first ginger, that's nasty.
Also,
it was a quiet taste, but
turmeric.
I'm gonna try it.
Turmeric. Also, black seed oil. Everything.
Do I? No, I got what's that? Flax seeds.
Flaxseed oil.
Well, that's for my when I do my smoothies.
Flaxseed. Got good properties.
But I haven't.
black seed oil, black seed oil, that's the cure all for everything. Now it's bitter. Very, very, very bitter.
Very bitter.
It's very bitter. It comes in a dark bite. Like it has an aftertaste. I usually take my black seed oil with a shot of orange juice or a glass of orange juice or something like that, because the acidity of the orange juice help wash away the aftertaste of the black seed oil.
See, I don't.
But
I don't like all that
this is not
orange juice
medical
or
advice.
acid on my teeth.
Yeah. Check medical advice before you take black seed oil. Black seed oil is strong. If you have never taken it before, right? And you take too much, you're definitely going to feel it.
So like, is that like apple cider vinegar?
Apple cider vinegar, kind of. I think it's better. Black seed oil been around for thousands and thousands of years. I can see the vinegar. You know what I mean? Like, the bitter in that is good, but the bitters. The mother is the bitter part. But black seed oil, when you first take it, don't take a lot.
So if y'all missed it, we were here earlier.
Yeah.
We did an hour show.
Yeah.
We did an hour show. We had some technical difficulties on YouTube, so the camera had to be on me. First time I've ever sat in the hot seat. Yeah, I've never been in the hot seat. But actually, I did put up to be interviewed twice. That never happened, but it's okay. When I mean interview, I mean by my own radio station. But that never happened. But first time to be in the hot seat. It's kind of low, kind of different, kind of odd. But while we were experiencing technical difficulties, we had to do what we had to do, and now he did what he did, so we don't have to do it no more.
And I'm still on the wrong side, so maybe she's on the other side.
Yeah. But it's okay. So we were on here. We talked about
Jesus picture. What side is Mary on?
Mary.
You know that's Mary and Jesus, right?
What? I didn't even know she had a.
The Last Supper.
Yeah, but I didn't know she was in there.
You never pick that up?
Where's Mary at?
She's standing beside him.
Besides who?
Well, the person they say is Jesus.
Mother Mary, his mother, is standing in the.
Oh, wow.
I missed that one.
Actually, I don't want to get too deep into it, but people are like, oh my God, what are you talking about?
So for the record, I used to say I know a little bit about a lot of things. So my mother's side is Catholic. My grandfather, which would be my mother's father, was Jehovah. My grandmother was Christian, or we call it Baptist, right? Yeah, we call it, no, I'm sorry, they called it Baptist, then we call it Christian.
Everything you say is Christianity.
Yeah.
Just different form.
So, I did the Hail Marys because I didn't know any better. You know, stand, sit, kneel, Hail Mary, full of grace, Lord is with thee, and yeah. So I went to Mass, and actually, you know, when I stayed in Philly, I would go, because at that time I was going through some stuff, and I needed a place to go that was open so I can just sit and just talk to God and be away from people, you know, and not have to worry about somebody like, you okay, you all right? So you go to Mass, you can do it, and nobody bothers you. So I would go to the corner Mass and I didn't do the Hail Marys, but I would just go there and just talk to God, like I need you. And it dawned on me, like, you know, I'm thinking about Mary, and I'm like, wait a minute. If God said no one comes to him, and that we're not supposed to worship other idols, then why are we going to Luke, Paul, Peter, Mike, Henry, Adam, you know, Saint Benedict, if God's distinctly said, don't go to these, like, and then who are the, now, quote unquote, the only person that died and went to heaven was Jesus, right? According to the Bible, that's what they say. But where did all of the other ones go? Because I didn't know they went anywhere. So as far as I know, they're in the ground. So why are we praying to someone who can't hear or pleasing our cries? I stopped that when I, you know, started listening. I was hearing it first, but let me start listening. Because Jesus never went to Mary. He prayed directly to God. So where did all these other saints come from? I get it. These are the saints that we go to because all of a sudden, you know, they healed. There's a lot of people that heal, but
to become a saint was, I mean, like, you just had to really get blessed with doing, like, so many miracles.
Yeah, so many, but aren't they dead underground?
Yeah. But see, this,
So I got confused because if the Bible says you're not supposed to, then why are you including these people after he then distinctly said, don't do that?
because we got to understand first that the Bible wasn't written. The Bible wasn't written as a complete book.
Yeah.
It's a collection of scrolls,
Can I have a-
manuscripts. Go ahead. Collection of scrolls, manuscripts, and different texts that were combined from, I told you it was all horrible, combined from different languages.
No, these are just straight fries.
Yeah, horrible. I ain't no salt, nothing like that.
Well, you didn't ask for salt.
I didn't know you had
It's on that.
fries.
Yeah, it's on the thing because some people are diabetic.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
I'm not gonna argue that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna-
Okay. So.
But, you know,
I'm
so
fine.
what happened was the real religion, this, you know, and you can go look this up for yourself, is really science. It's knowledge of self. That's what real religion is, knowing yourself, right? And study of nature. And what they replaced it with was dogma, which is in mysticism, which is what they call religion today. So all these saints and things came into play so they can disconnect you from the creator, right?
Oh, we take the glasses off.
Yeah, that's the purpose of, you know, any intermediary between you and the creator. Is for you to go through somebody else, but it has to be a man first, right? So your direct connection is with God. Your divinity comes from the creator, or Allah. Like I said,
Yeah.
God, the creator, you know what I mean? So think about the concept of man put somebody in the way of you and God, and then that's why you got to do it.
Yeah, but then Catholics have so many, and it's amazing because I go to mass. Well, actually, I will drive up to go attend mass with my mom. It's like, what is it? A little over an hour drive. Then you sit for an hour for mass, and then we go hang out for a few minutes because I gotta do an hour plus that. Yeah, but it was interesting because she would have her rosary, and each bead she sang a prayer, and then you get to the next bead and you say a prayer, so you complete the whole rosary, and then it's each one is something different until you get to Hail Mary, and I'm like, but why are you going? Where is Mary? Because I didn't even know when she died, anything like that. Like, what did she perform? After Jesus, there's no. So why are you talking about some Hail Mary full of grace? Like. I guess she maybe. I guess she probably died to where she's gonna be in heaven with God. Okay. So.
What's perception?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that because I don't want to push.
Yeah, I don't want to push. I don't want it to be like a religious thing.
But like when you go to Mary, like, you gotta read. Like everybody out there that's dealing with the basic instructions before you earth, aka the Bible. There were books taken out of the Bible.
Yeah, there are a lot of books.
Right, and there's a certain collection called the Apocryphal Gospels, which has the book of Mary Magdalene in it. It has the book of Enoch in it. The book of the Pharisees, Gentiles. I mean, a lot of history that they had to take out because if that history was left in the Bible, then the stuff that they're telling you right now, you really won't be true. So, as far as much as I'm going to say on this is, if you want to understand, what Serena is talking about as far as where all these different people came from and why certain things are the way they are, you might want to go check out, the Apocryphal Gospels. Definitely read the book of Enoch. Definitely there's a book from Mary Magdalene. So, and then you will get a better understanding of the game that's playing now and being played now. Excuse me. That's about all I'm gonna say. Because I don't want to. Like one of the things I'm trying to do is not like, even though I have truth, I don't want to put it on people. I want people to go find it for themselves. I do all the research, I do all the sourcing, I do all that stuff for myself. So I know it. But if I just tell you, you don't know it. So like I just do that so that people actually go.
And let me include this part. I'm sorry. So on top of the Catholic, I'm hungry. And on top of the Catholic, the Jehovah, the Baptist, I dated a guy who didn't practice his Adim. Muslim? Yeah. So what I liked about him, what I admired about him was that, you know, I would ask him why is he doing a prayer. You got the rug, I forgot the name for the rug, but I went and got one. So, you know, I would ask him like things, and when he, you know, he would tell me why the prayer, why this, why that, but he didn't put a period. He put a comma, and he would tell me to go look it up myself. He always stressed to me to stop relying on what other people say. Research it, even though he was telling me, he would always tell me to research it myself. So that's what I liked. He didn't just put a period, you know, yeah, we just pray in this black plastic bag because that's, you know, he always told me this is what we're supposed to pray in, this black plastic bag. We had to be in the corner on the west side of the north, but you look it up yourself. And I did. You know, so, yeah.
Because people, I had a situation, matter of fact, this was last week in my neighborhood, and I forget what the conversation was, but I was involved in it, and a friend of mine, we got into a conversation about, the conversation didn't even have a topic.
Right.
But it was based on knowledge. And the person tried to tell me that we had the same knowledge. I was like, if we got the same knowledge, why is what we're talking about not working for you and it's working for me? Like, we can't have the same knowledge. We got the same knowledge. And then it came out that we really didn't have the same knowledge. But the knowledge that this person had, you know, was different than what we would have normally thought. You feel what I'm saying? Because the other person that was involved in the conversation, when this person said how they believe, right, they were shocked because I have a more, I guess to them, a more radical view, but they thought the other person was on their side. And when the other person said, no, I'm kind of more on that side, they was like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? So, and like, that's how it gets you. Like, so, you gotta really study everything for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You gotta understand everything for yourself. Everything's perception first. You know what I mean? Most people take perception. It's called, in law, it's called prima facie, right?
Yeah. But, we didn't start off talking about religion. I don't want people thinking we just talking about religion. No. We actually, I picked.
Mixed up with a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about former governor, New York Governor Cuomo.
Oh, I thought we was off of him.
No, I was saying this is how I started off.
Okay.
I started off from there because, you know, we came back from our break after he fixed the technical difficulties. It was like, let's talk about something, and then, let me just get this out the way because I thought about it, and it was pounding on me about, you know, Jesus' quote-unquote mother, Mary, where she is, why Catholics pray to everything and everyone. You know, even I was in a pot and raised everything. But, you know, that's how we got there. But we're not bashing any religion. We're not going deep into any religion. We were just talking about, you know, I just wanted to scratch the surface on, you know, just on that, just to kill some time just a little bit. But I can say congratulations to my man, Matt, who has his show. You have your official radio show tomorrow, boy. With food in your mouth. I'm sorry, we normally don't. The only time I have eaten like this was when I actually had chefs.
We are hungry.
I'm sorry. I normally don't do this. I'm like, bro, let's be professional, but.
We go nonstop.
Yeah, but, so please pardon me.
Yes. Matt Talk Heavy Radio will be on tomorrow night from 8 to 10 p.m. on PhillyHotRadio.com. I'm streaming live on PhillyHotRadio.com right from this location. You'll be able to see it on YouTube as well. So make sure you tune in from 8 to 10 p.m. It's going to be, Arkansas is going to be experience. It's going to be a gumbo of a show. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be, there's going to be a panel. There's going to be some dope people here. And we're just going to kick it how we kick it. And we want to let y'all be the judge. No, y'all going to like it. So, matter of fact, right now, read your calendar, put in your phone, at 7:45. Every alarm go. Every Friday. Let your alarm go off. Matt Talk Heavy Radio. Be on at 8 o'clock. And then 5 minutes before, 15 minutes before I come on, like you should popcorn, your chips, your blood, your toothpaste, and everything, like tissue, couch. and sit there because you're going to laugh.
Take the dog out for the walk.
You might cry. You're going to learn something. You're going to hear some dope music. You might see a live performance. You might see live performances. You're going to get a lot with Matt Talk Heavy Radio. But the talk is heavy, and you know what I mean? We're going to get to it. So that's it for my part of, you know.
Can I just say this? Because one of my things is my signature is stay focused. So I don't have the ED. I purposely didn't put the ED in. Somebody called me up and said, you know focus is spelled F-O-C-U-S-E-D?
Huh?
F-O-C-U-S-E-D.
Okay.
Focused. But I took ED off.
Okay.
I purposely took it off. I wanted something catchy. And then plus, I'm trying to get people to focus on the message and not the grammar. So one of the things I say, you know, about staying focused is, you know, when you stay focused, everything that God has for you is coming to you. We look at that marriage, like we want that marriage. We trying to figure out how they got that house, how they got that car. You know, you got that co-worker at work that act like they the boss, and the boss act like they don't know what they're doing. And I say, little do you know that that house is like 2 months away from being foreclosed on. You're trying to figure out about that car, why they never parked in front of their house, because they're trying to duck from getting repoed. Didn't know that she's in there cheating, he beating the crap out of her. Children swing from the chandelier, but you're looking at that marriage, talking about, oh, I want that marriage, because when they come outside, see you, baby. Where you doing that? Because like there's a lot of stuff going on in there. No, it's in general, because we have people that we idolize other people's things, thinking that, oh my gosh, look at that house, they got that house, but you don't know that, when they go on the inside, they scraping pennies together, coupons, trying to keep the lights on, faking the front for you. Don't fake it for me. You the one already. I'm not paying nothing, you know, but
everything is perception.
And everything is perception, which is why I always try to get people to understand you need to stay focused, because I get it. You know, you're trying to come up with this, you're trying to come up with that, you want to have this, you want to have that, and the first thing people seem to think is, I gotta have this. No, you just have to stay focused. And the reason why I say this is because I had reached out to you last year before COVID. I found your story, actually came across your story. I reached out to you. Can I interview you? It's like, cool, yeah, okay. Interviewed you, had you do a panel of Zoom. And that was, by then it was COVID. I'm at home doing the thing, and
I shut it down. I made a run.
And then I'm like, okay, well, COVID is lifting. I did come back here. I was a little panicky. I was a little, we had security. We actually had police that would sit downstairs.
Okay.
So I felt a little safe. But then after a while, I came back here, long story short, I came back here and they were going. I just thought maybe they were out in the streets. No, they're actually going. Right. So now I'm like panicking, because I come up in here, and as soon as I get in here to get through the front door, all I see is this cop zooming. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming from the suburbs, the Delaware, they're down here in the hood. It's like, no, and I'm by myself and it's dark. Long story short, I invited you on. I'm ready to come back. Let me see if you wouldn't mind coming on. So this is why I say stay focused. So I had you come on, and you were telling me, you know, just talking. You know, yeah, I wanted to do mine. I did this. I wanted to do this. I did that. And lo and behold, you know, I didn't feel like being seen, but I did a show. Well, actually, I didn't do the show. I gave you the flu. You and your cousin was here, and what had happened was my manager saw you. And when he reached out to me, he asked me who you were, and my first thought was, oh my God, he must have thought I let y'all in here by yourself. I gave y'all the passwords to the stuff. No, so I went right at it. I'm like, nope, I was there at the show. I let the man. He was like, no, that's him. He won his own show. This is what I'm saying about stay focused. This is what I mean by stay focused. You know, so all the stuff that you have been wanting to do or had done, and just in a casual conversation mentioned to me, I can't say me, God used me and opened up a door, and now you have your own, and this is within 2 months, a month, yeah.
Because like, it wasn't my original aspiration though. You remember, like, yo, alright, so let's keep it 100. Like, yeah. Let's keep it like, yo.
Keep it 100.
No, I'm not for real. Yeah. For real. She asked me, you know, about, you know, we were actually talking, and I told her, like, yo, I've been on radio before. I actually had killed a couple radio reviews I've been on. And one radio review, like, the actual host was asking me to come back and, you know, possibly be a host, and I got probably Cotton, you know what I mean? Took over the show, kind of. They never asked him to come back. This is right here for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, you talk
But, yeah, like, so, the thing that I asked Sonya for the most out of everything that we had talked about, right? I was cool doing Sonya show, wasn't thinking about my own show, really. I always had my idea for my own podcast or whatever, which Mac Talk Head Radio is a spin-off of Mac Talk Head, 100 podcast that will come out later, but we'll talk about that. And, I asked Sonya, I was like, yo, I just want to meet Carlos Miller in 85 South. That was it. That was it. Like, yeah, that was like, cause when, alright,
you did.
I did, cause like that was it. Like,
And how did you tell him?
I seen a picture of her. Was it Carlos?
Yeah, it was Carlos. It was
DC too?
No, it was DC Young Fly, and it was Carlos.
Okay, I seen a picture of her with them two.
Wilding out.
So I was like, you know, she was like, yeah, like Carlos, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, that's it. Just like, yo, get me backstage at 85 South Show, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
That's Carlos owed me an interview.
That was, yo, you heard that, Luz? Oh my God, I'm gonna tweet.
He did, because every time I hit him up, he was like, yeah, just set it up.
I'm gonna tweet you tonight. Look, make sure, Carlos, I'm gonna tweet you tonight, bro. But like that was my thing. Cause like I like the vibe of this show. You know what I'm saying? And like Carlos, me and him is like almost the same age. So like we kind of got like the same old head wisdom. Yeah. Like kind of relate to the brother. So like that was the only thing I asked for. Like I was like, yo, if you could do that, that'd be cool. So I wasn't looking for any of this. But I will say though, like throughout my life, the things that I've done culminated to this coming to, you know what I mean, to fruition. And then it's just going to expand from here. So I'm very thankful. Thank you very much for inviting me on the show, first of all, and inviting me back. And then making me a co-host of this show. So I ended up being on the Sony show. And y'all got one of those. So I'm in Philly on the radio 2 nights a week. And then I'm in less than 2 months. So we've been doing that. We've been doing it since May. May? Yeah, May. Yeah, my first show was like, I think, in the April, beginning of May.
Yeah, because I didn't do anything in June. I didn't travel in June.
Yeah. So,
because my funding was, my sponsors couldn't fly me, so yeah.
Like she said, stay focused, you know what I'm saying? By chance, what happened to me could happen to you. You never know, you know what I mean?
You never know.
That's coming. I didn't stop, you know what I mean? I'm always available. I might be late sometimes because I'm coming from but I'll be
You was coming further than where I was.
Yeah, I'm definitely coming.
I was coming from Smyrna.
I'm coming like at least 40 to 50 minutes further than where you're coming from. Wow. I actually come up here. So like I'm traveling at least 2 hours both ways. So like, and this is one of the reasons we about to end this show. Man, it's 7:30. I'm already getting to 10 o'clock. That's if I leave right now and not just,
Traffic should have, rush hour should have. Wait a minute, do you go past Christian tomorrow?
Yeah, I do know that.
That is a pickle come the holidays.
Oh yeah, I used to live right there. I used to live right off one.
Oh boy, that's what I get with all the traffic here.
Right there. You on 273 at the time.
You got that.
162? Was it 162?
You got that.
And 273? You got that. I used to live right there, so I know exactly what that traffic is like. Trying to get on 273, off 273, on to the dawn. You know what I mean? To get, trust me. I know. Been there for years.
And they move
really fast. I don't like city traffic, but I love the city. And
I know.
I don't like traffic, but I love the city. And that's part of my thing I got. I was surprised my mom and my grandma stayed in Jersey. And all of her sisters used to live right here in Philly. You know what I mean? So when I was young, I came to Philly a lot. I used to come to Philly a lot. And when I used to hang out with my little cousins, or some of them older, but I used to hang out with my cousins or whatever. I used to just go around the street. Like, the first time I ever knew what a homeless person was because I stepped on one in Philly. Ain't that crazy?
Are you serious?
Seriously. I was young. I was like, we was kids. We was walking to the bodega. He was like, we're going to the bodega. I was like, what's the bodega? I'm trying to figure out what slang and stuff like that. Then you go to the store to get some chips and stuff like that. Alright, so I'm walking around with my cousins. We walking on the sidewalk. My cousin, she jumps over the pile of leaves. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Obviously, they knew this person didn't really stay there. And like, I kicked through the leaves like a kid, you know what I mean? And he popped up like Oscar the Grouch. Like, yo, somebody under there. They was like, we told you, I mean, you see us walk around and stupid. I was like, oh, snap. But like, a lot of crazy experiences in Philly. Yeah. I would say like my second home, cause I love Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like,
What?
Yeah, I love Brooklyn. Oh my God.
I need to go,
Brooklyn.
oh, that's another thing.
Brooklyn, BX. You know what I mean? I like Queens too. Queens got too many faces in the box, so you don't never know where you at in Queens.
I gotta know my way through New York because I got a lot of celebrities that owe me interviews. So 5 heartbeats.
The 5 heartbeats.
Yeah. Love like this.
You know, they know what the real scene was, right?
That wasn't them.
No, I know that wasn't a real.
No,
that wasn't a real scene. A lot of people.
No, yeah, I know. Everybody thought it was real. I'm like, no. And you know, John Canada lives out here. Who? Flash. The light skin, the pretty one.
Oh, Flash.
He lives up here. He's been on here, I don't know, what, 2 times?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's, no, I'm sorry. He's,
I didn't know it was real.
Yeah. John Canada Terrell. And Hawthorne James, that's my, oh man, that's good. He just got in a couple of movies. Mad shout out to Hawthorne James. Mad shout out to John Canada Terrell.
Why you keep doing it?
Cause
I can't see.
That's okay.
Yeah. Yo, I met Big Red at the first Million Man March.
What?
I was there. I was 17 years old. I remember it was October 16th, 1995. I'll never forget the day. Never forget it. It was one of the dopest experiences I had around my people ever, even to this day. All the people out there, there was no problems. I only seen one scuffle out there the whole day where they had to grip somebody up and take them away. No guns was used, no knives was used, nobody got shot, nobody got stabbed. People was paying attention to the information. It was so thick out there you couldn't even move. It was shoulder to shoulder. Men everywhere. Like the women that was there was cool, but so many women respected not coming into the city. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just us. I got there at 4 o'clock that morning, right? I fell asleep in the wave pool, you know, you see the monument thing? I fell asleep there. And my crew left me. Came back, I was still sleeping. Nobody around me. Yo, it was
Oh, good.
Like we was drinking, you could get, you know, this Long Island iced teas? Not Long Island, oh my God, I mean. I never, you know, remember the Arizona iced teas? And the can, when they first came out?
Okay.
You get a whole 6-pack of them for $1. You can get a meat stick like this long for $1. Like, yo, it was one of the dopest experiences. I'll say that for myself. You got to get it. Because if I keep talking, I'm going to keep talking, and she'll keep talking, so we can talk to the people.
Well, Hawthorne James
talk about
had came down for a play, and I wound up interviewing the guy that started the play, and he brought John Canada, and Hawthorne wasn't here yet. He wasn't in Philadelphia. But anyway, my mother's birthday comes up, January the 10th. I'm the 4th. So it's like, what do I do for my mother for her birthday? So I reached out. What?
When your mom birthday?
January 10th.
That's my son's birthday.
My birthday is January the 4th, so it don't matter. Yeah, I was not trying to have my birthday be after hers. It wasn't gonna happen.
I don't understand why that is. I'm just saying, my son's birthday is July 10th. So July 10th, right?
No, January the 10th.
Oh, I keep saying
January. I'm January the 4th, she's the 10th. But anyway, Hawthorne James, John Canada Terrell were here. So my mother's birthday comes up, and it's like, I asked, the guy, could he try to get them to come to my mother's house for a birthday? So it was like, cool. I brought Hawthorne, we brought, oh my God, what's the boy's name? Oh, I forgot to sing Troop, one of the guys from Troop. Anyway.
I remember Troop.
It's okay. It's all right. So anyway, they agreed. Didn't get John, but Hawthorne came. And I had called my cousin up and let my cousin know. Long story short, I get to my mother's house and she's like making breakfast and all this stuff, and they keep texting me, and I'm like, just like, I'm trying to play it off like I can't talk to my fucking mother here. Anyway, I gave her the address to go past the house and all that stuff. Long story short, she's in the kitchen and she, making some tea, but we're trying to get her to like sit down, and she went to go make some tea, and they finally like, we're here. So I'm like, yes. I'm looking at cousin, yes, they're here. Okay, cool. I'm like, no, close the door. What? What's so in the door? So she goes over to the door, she opened the door, you would have thought it was freaking Christmas. You would have, I just act like a freaking 2-year-old. I'm jumping up and down in the background because my mother she does not answer the door if you don't call. So I had to get her to answer the door. She pulls up the curtain, she looks out, and I'm looking at my cousin, and looking at her, she finally opens up the door a little bit, and I'm like, yes! I'm like, okay, move! I'm standing there telling my mom, like, move! Well, to myself. Because it's like, move! And then she stands and she says, wait a minute, are you famous? That's Hawthorne. She's like, are you famous? Anyway, she opened up the door and then finally they come in, she's like, oh my God! I thought that was just like so, but like we stayed for about 2 hours, a little over, almost 3 hours. They did everything, but anyway, they had played on it that day, and yeah. So mad shout out to Hawthorne James.
Wow.
He's real cool. I asked him for anything, I didn't get it, but yeah, and we friends. I call him up, wish him happy birthdays, all that good stuff.
We gotta go, cause we had a conversation.
Yeah, I know.
I did this last Friday. I can't talk.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Like, I'm trying to get through it. I was eating, I shouldn't be eating, so like eating.
But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Mad shout out Hawthorne James. Mad shout out to my sponsors, and I gotta go redo my website again. So the Sony Show podcast. Yeah, .com. Yeah.
And you can always find me at mooresmac.org, MOORSHMACK. You always put the K on the Mac. Got all my
Check me out next Thursday. I'll be back. But in the meantime, in all of it, between time, I gotta go.
And so at the Mac Talk Radio tomorrow night, 8 to 10. Make sure you tune in. Fully Hot Radio, streaming live on YouTube. You want to catch me anywhere right now? You're gonna have to catch me on Instagram, Photomac, PHOTOMACK, because they got me banned all over Facebook. I told you.
They never banned me.
I told you. They don't want me on Facebook. They don't want me on social media. Peace. Oh, we not gonna be hot, Mike. No, turn the rest of them down, Sonya.